Well, that's your anus, isn't it? That's the anus.
Did you just say you've got piles?
No, I haven't got piles. Alright, Sean, Katie, Sean. I don't know what they are. I'm not an old person. Sean, Katie, Sean. I'm not. Captain America. Brave New World.
Yes.
Harrison Ford.
Red Hulk.
Right,
yeah.
Apparently.
What's his name? Ross.
Thunderbolt Ross.
Thaddeus? Yes, Thaddeus Ross. Something us. I know there's an us at the end.
I thought it was just Thunderbolt Ross.
I thought Thunderbolt was the nickname.
Yeah, who cares? But we're gonna watch.
Mm-hmm.
See what we can see. We're not all caught up on Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
God knows you don't have to be nowadays. Yeah. Let's see what we can see.
Mm-hmm.
See if there's any nonsensical things.
Can't be much worse than Gladiator 2.
No.
Wilson. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for the invite, sir.
He's got a new
I have
suit.
to admit, I'm still getting used to the new look.
They said lose the mustache or lose the election. You and I haven't always agreed in the past, but I want to make another run at making Captain America an official military position.
And if we disagree on how to manage this situation, then what happens?
Giancarlo Esposito.
With me, Sam. We'll show the world a better way forward.
Is he running for president?
I don't know.
Oh. Oh, I was there.
Who?
If from
The Show.
The Show, yeah, the one with the super soldier shit.
Sir, the inner circle's been compromised. Either you can't see that, or you don't want to. What if it's a trap? Global power is shifting. You're just a pawn.
You may be Captain America, but you're not Steve Rogers.
Oh.
You're right. I'm not.
Was that another Falcon there? Was that another Falcon?
Like it. Oh.
Oh. Nice.
Well, we know he does. I don't know the actor's name. He was in the show as well. He's gonna be the new Falcon, isn't he?
Oh.
He helped him. He gave him his suit, didn't he? Gave him the wings. I don't know his name, Sean.
I can't remember.
He was in the car with him.
Was he?
Yeah. No, it's further forward.
Further forward.
No, backwards.
You said further forward.
Him, that guy from the show.
I don't remember. Where's Bucky?
I don't know. I assume this film's going to set up the Thunderbolts because the Thunderbolts is being filmed.
Yeah.
Right. And Bucky is going to be in that. So, God knows if he's going to be in this.
Obviously, Ross has been experimenting with gamma radiation.
Yeah, it gives the impression that he's going to
Is he running for
run for president.
Seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. What is that? The posters? They're holding up posters, something Ross, aren't they?
Yeah, Ready Ross. Ready Ross. Want to know where they are there? Is that the Oval Office?
It looks like he's behind glass, and you bulletproof glass.
Who's he talking to there?
Zemo?
Zemo. Probs.
So he wants Captain America to become like a military guy.
Yeah. Basically wants him to become a US agent. Which is like...
Who might be in this again?
Wyatt Russell. I wonder how silly the Red Hulk's going to look. I mean, I hope he doesn't look silly, but part of me thinks he is.
That's him there, isn't it? He's Falcon. That's Isaih. You remember him from the...
Yeah.
He's super soldier as well, and his nephew? Grandson? Oh, what was he? Was he his nephew?
I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember.
He's gonna be in I can't remember his superhero name. He's gonna be in like the Young Avengers, I assume.
So, does he get shot? And is that why he turns into the Red Hulk? Like he's wounded and he thinks the Hulk is the best way to go about, which is very hypocritical.
Maybe he's just already, and that's how it comes out. That's how everyone finds out. And it's like ruined his plans.
Has he got a new suit? Is that a new suit? I don't remember there being that much blue on the other one. And it had like, it sort of went up onto the head.
I think it is a new suit. It looks like, do you know the Captain Steve Rogers' Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Suit, how it was like really dark blue.
Yeah.
Like it has that bit, but then it has like the red on it as well, like the really prominent.
Yeah. So whose funeral is that?
Isaih's maybe?
Maybe.
Is he going to try and bring Isaih's story into the light? Do we think?
But he did. He did at the end of Captain Winter Soldier. He showed him his thing in the museum.
Oh yeah.
So Giancarlo Esposito is the bad guy apparently.
Who are they?
I've heard a lot of people saying that this film is also going to set up the Planet Hulk film. Because obviously there's She-Hulk, there's Professor Hulk. People want Eric Bana to come back as Maestro, I think, and they want Ed Norton to come back as the, I can't remember if it's called the World Breaker Hulk or Planet Breaker Hulk, which I don't particularly understand because, you know, Mark Ruffalo is that Hulk. Like he's the same Hulk that Ed Norton was. Let's see how ridiculous it looks.
I mean,
no more ridiculous than the normal Hulk looks, I suppose. So that's the crack, is that Sam is going to fight the Red Hulk. Where would all the other Hulks be in all of this?
I wonder if they're gonna hop in. I wonder if maybe She-Hulk's gonna come into it.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Primarily because we know that Marvel's lost its marbles recently.
It seems, like I said, we're not completely up to date, so it's difficult to know everything. But it seems like there's a few things that they're going to be trying to set up.
Yeah.
Like it feels like for a long time now they've been setting up like the Young Avengers. There's been like a lot of kids coming into it. Like you said, World War Hulk. Thunderbolts, which we know is definitely happening.
Does it not just feel though like almost every Marvel property that comes out now is setting up something
else?
Yeah, like it's going.
Well, they've also got to set up like the Avengers, which isn't, well, I guess they've pushed everything back, haven't they? But like so far, and this is the issue that we've had with recent Marvel, is the first, like the Infinity Saga, everything, it all kind of carried on from each other, but it wasn't so much so that it was really overbearing. You could kind of just see the small links and the small, like, usually the end credits. This recent Marvel feels like there's not been kind of any of that. There's no, like, you don't really know like what direction it's going in.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know it's Kang,
Well,
but then
is it?
we don't know if it's Kang. It should be Kang, but we don't know. I assume they're going to be recasting him. Seems like it's more than likely. It's just, yeah, like what's the story here? Where's this going?
Does it also just feel like they've completely given up on the sort of galactic side of it? Since the Eternals happened, they've just given up on that completely.
Well,
like Harry Styles came into it as, you know, Eros.
they are Thanos'
Thanos' brother.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, they are going to be doing an Eternals too.
Are they?
aren't they? Sure
Not-
they
not
are.
that I've heard.
I thought they were.
I've not heard anything about.
They announced loads of stuff, and then they kind of like put a stop on some stuff. They pushed a lot of stuff back. They bring a lot, like Fantastic Four got announced. The mutants, X-Men is meant to be happening at some point. No idea how.
Well, that's going to start off with Deadpool and Wolverine, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's just like. Pff.
It just feels like
This-
they've incorporated too much too quickly. After the Infinity Saga, they went, right,
Let's give them everything.
multiverse, Fantastic Four, X-Men, let's just put all of it in, and it's kind of like, whoa, let's just chill out.
Yeah.
Start with the Fantastic Four, start with the X-Men, then ease into the multiverse.
For me, it was like it could have been so. I'm saying it like so easy, like I know everything. But for me, it was like in Endgame, they were like, okay, the snap, it released like this mass gamma radiation. It was this big thing. It happened 3 times on Earth. A big deal. For me, I was just like, oh, so that obviously must be how they're going to bring in the mutants, because that like woke up the X gene. That's what I assumed. But then like they never really addressed it, and I was kind of like, well, surely that's something that you want to do straight off the bat. You don't even have to bring X-Men in. You can just be like, there's been a lot of, findings with the snap. But we're discovering all this stuff, and one of them could be this new gene. But then it just kind of feels like they're just adding all this stuff in.
And an Easter egg, one of the leading scientists on the research on the snaps, Reed Richards.
Yeah, but it was just like they're mutants.
Oh.
The Fantastic Four.
No, they're not.
I thought they are.
No, they
thought
are
they
not. No, they are not.
No, I thought they were.
No, of course they're not. They get zapped by something in space.
I know, but I thought it was like the X gene got awoke because of that. No.
I don't think they've ever been classed as mutants. I might be wrong. People in the comments will either roast me or they'll roast you. I'm pretty certain I'm right.
Okay, fair enough. I'll take that back. What was I going to say? Like with Wanda and WandaVision,
Yeah.
it seemed like they were setting it up for maybe like she was already a witch. She already had that power there, and that kind of just amplified her power. It made it seem like that just awoke. And even in Age of Ultron, it was like, oh, all these people died, but these were the only 2 that survived. And you were like, oh, it's because, that's going to come into it, and they're going to go back to it. And then they kind of just, for me, it should have just been, the new saga should have just been like mutants.
Yeah. Feels like it's going to be a lot sort of right on the nose when the Fantastic Four and the X-Men come into it. I think the only way they bring the X-Men in is with Deadpool. That's like the only possible route they go down.
Do you think it'll, how would
It's something to do with timelines.
I know, but surely that would veer off and be its own timeline.
I don't know.
With how they explain time in an Endgame, it's not a continuous line. It's if Wolverine does, if Deadpool does something here, it doesn't affect this line. It just veers off into its own thing. So then, how could that happen?
Back in time.
It just.
He does have the time device that they got off cable.
I know, but they can't just set up how time travel works to then have it be something entirely different. You've established that law in this universe. You need to kind of stick by it.
Yeah.
Even in Loki, you saw the tree with all the branches and stuff. Yeah. It just feels like if they just bring in the X-Men and Fantastic Four, you just know everyone's going to say, well, where were they the entire time? Why didn't they help out?
Fantastic Four you can get away with. Have them be... They're all
Just
scientists. And they do all come together for a space mission or however you want to explain it, and that kind of... But even then, they will present the plot hole of if Pedro Pascal is playing Reed Richards, and I assume he's going to play like an older version of Reed Richards because Pedro Pascal's a certain age. No, I'm not saying that he can't be younger, but he's very diverse. People will then also say, well, where were they the whole time? You surely would have heard about Reed Richards.
Why wasn't his elite science-y discoveries talked about. Yeah.
And I suppose that could be argued away with, well, he's in the same world as Tony Stark, who's inventing time travel.
I know, but
Yeah, you would still expect to hear his name.
yeah.
And my God, let's just hope he's a better Reed Richards than John Krasinski was.
Poor John Krasinski. Everyone waited so long for him to
I
be Reed
know,
Richards.
I know. And he was so stupid. He was the smartest man alive.
The smartest man alive.
I know what I'll do. I'll tell you what this guy's power is so you can kill him easily.
And then I'll try and just touch you.
Stretch on you.
Yeah.
Wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But we veered off course a little bit here. Captain America Brave New World. Characters that need to be in it. Surely Zemo needs to be in it. Because he's almost synonymous with Captain America at this point, isn't he?
And with Sam after
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter
I
Soldier.
feel like Bucky should be in it.
Yeah.
John Walker? Is that his name? John Walker? Wyatt Russell.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name.
I feel like he should be in it. The wifey who was sort of recruiting them for the Thunderbolts. Feel like she'll probably be in it. It's getting harder and harder to figure out what it is they're setting up. You know, like before when, like, in Iron Man, or it might be in the Incredible Hulk, and you see Tony Stark walks up to Bruce Banner and he goes, "Thinking about setting up a team," and you're like, "Oh right, okay, no, exactly what that. It's the Avengers."
Yeah.
Well, you won't because you were too young, but you know that was.
Since I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, you got the thing. And you know, there was the bit at the end of the Avengers where everyone kind of went, because the guy goes to try and invade Earth would be to court death, and it shows you Thanos, and you're like, it's Thanos.
Yeah.
With these films now, it's just getting hard to understand what it is they're setting up.
That's what I mean, though. It feels like there's so much that they're trying to bring into one film.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you need to set up this, but you also need to set up this, but you also need to have this character who's going to later on set up this, and this needs to be a slight reference to this character who's not in it yet, but like will be. It's like, whatever happened to just the end credit that just give a nod to the next movie, or just like Thanos, maybe have something with Kang, kind of a weird one, but they could have done that with just like Kang popping up, or maybe like a, you know, something.
It's gone from sort of, you know, and people might say, you know, in this ever expanding movie universe, you have to do this and that and this and that, but it's like, well, no, the film still has to be a really good film with one or two nods to other things. It doesn't have to be overly saturated with everything, because then there's no point in building things up.
And it can't be a coincidence that since they've started doing that, it feels like everyone's kind of gotten a bit sick of Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel fatigue.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Because that notion of we've got to build up to this, we've got to build up to this, you've got to have this character, and you've got to have this, and they've got to say this at some point. Sounds like what the DCAU was before, when Zack Snyder was running it. You know, we've got to have a video of Aquaman, and we've got to have this. We've got to have Doomsday because he kills Superman. You've got to have this, and you've got to have this. You know, like, the thing that Zack Snyder said was the big problem, that all the producers just had to have all these different things in, and it became impossible to make the film. That's what everything from Marvel feels like now. It's
like the film's based around them things as opposed to just actually the story being good.
Yeah.
I hope they've learned, because they have been getting a lot of grief the past few years, and it seems, from what people say on the internet, they're trying to go for like quality as opposed to quantity, which is why they've delayed a lot of stuff, kind of put like a pin in a lot of things as well. We don't even know if stuff's still happening, so it just feels like, though, not wanting to get into it, but all the stuff with like the actor that plays Kang, I don't know his name,
Jonathan Majors.
It feels like if that was the point, was to get to Kang, and that was what the Avengers was going to be, it kind of feels like you need to start, like, figure out what's going on there before you can continue leading up to that.
Wasn't one of them going to be called Avengers of the Kang Dynasty?
Something like that. One of them was like,
it's annoying.
But it's like, if
they have recast people before, though. As this shows us.
I know, but it's like they've not really talked about it. They've not
Yeah.
really. But if that is the end goal of this saga, then don't you kind of need to figure that out first before you can continue?
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, that was us reacting to the Captain America that was only the teaser, by the way. That was us reacting to the teaser. Let us know what you think down in the comments. Are you feeling Marvel fatigue? Because I don't know about you, but I have recently. We watched a lot of stuff at when we first started reacting to stuff on this channel, and since what was the film? It would have been Doctor Strange.
Oh,
like that was the last one where, because even after that I was kind of like, well, that was a bit you know.
Yeah, it was. We started off because the series happened. WandaVision, Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and they had fair enough. People were like, oh, they're not that good. Oh, it's a bit slow. But they were generally pretty good. I think people will probably look back on them and go, actually, that was good compared to what we've had since. But then it just felt like there was so much going on and so quickly. It was like, I feel like the best stuff we've had since Endgame has probably been the What If.
The best series.
The series, What If series.
No, I mean, is that what you think the best thing since Endgame? Just in terms of, I was going to say, just in terms of series, or I was going to say because Spider-Man was really good.
Anything else? I don't think of anything else. What If and Spider-Man has probably been the best.
We haven't even watched all of the What Ifs. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling Marvel fatigue.
Yeah.
It was also just, I think, the same with a lot of people. A lot of my favourite characters stepped off after Endgame.
And you kind of, it felt like they just didn't.
They didn't have a natural replacement for Tony Stark. They didn't have a natural replacement for Steve Rogers. And I know the whole thing of Falcon and Winter Soldier was
Sam is the replacement.
But even then it was kind of like, but they just don't. They don't have that replacement for Steve Rogers.
I feel like, though, they just didn't do enough for Sam Wilson. That might be controversial for me to say, but it's like, this is Captain America. This is like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It needs to be a big deal. They need to put a lot of emphasis on this, and it felt like it was kind of just like, oh, here's a show.
I don't know if we mentioned it. I think we did, actually. That he comes out and he says, you've got to stop calling them terrorists after they've been blowing up buildings and cars and things like that.
Yeah. As
if they're somehow not terrorists. And you get the sort of point that he was trying to make, but it's like, no, she doesn't have to stop, because that's what they were. They were terrorists. They didn't agree with people, and that's the kind of thing that Steve never did. He did speeches, like, obviously, you know, he did, like, his speech in The Winter Soldier. That's not about defining people or putting people in boxes and whatnot. That's just him going, I'm going to fight for freedom. And I bet there's other people that are ready to fight for it as well. Yeah. Like, that's so basic, but the way it's written is so well written.
But god damn, did it make you want to stand up.
Yeah. Caps orders.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to launch those things, and Rumlow's like, excuse me? And then what's her name? The woman's like you said, caps orders. And you're like, who do I point my gun at?
You're like, yeah.
They don't have that anymore. That's my point. You know, they don't have I Love You 3000. They don't have I Am Iron Man. They don't even. Do you know what? Ugh, they don't even have I'm Always Angry. That moment when we first went to see the first Avengers film.
Awesome.
I wet myself.
That was the very first.
I whittled
Marvel.
a little bit.
That was the very first Marvel movie I ever saw in the cinema, and even our little 10-year-old me in 2012 was like, just like wide-eyed and like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. Yeah.
You didn't even get all the references at that point.
I didn't.
I
because
did.
I'd only seen Captain America at that point. That was the very first one I ever watched. But other than that, I hadn't seen anything. But I just, even then, I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. And then I went and watched everything else. But even just like Thor, like how far Thor has fallen is ridiculous. And it just feels like there's a lot of I know you were talking about before, like humour. Yeah. It's too humorous now. Every character is a jokey character. Every character is the kind of, laugh in the face of danger. And it's like,
no one cares that they're in mortal danger.
yeah, but you know, this person has just died, or this person's mortally wounded, or you know, the entire fate of the world / universe is at risk, and you're just like, yeah,
let's make a joke.
It's like, well, a few characters, yeah, but not like Spider-Man. You didn't mind Spider-Man making jokes because he was like a child, but when every character is doing it, you kind of like them.
But it also, you know, you can have your jokey characters, but it's got to mean something. Like, Tony Stark was a joke character, but then his jokes almost instantly disappear when someone mentions Thanos. His jokes, you know, disappear when he's facing Thanos. His jokes disappear when he's fighting, you know, in Endgame.
It's like in the third Iron Man film, he was like a completely different person. He was struggling with, you know,
PTSD.
With the Avengers, and he just wanted to protect everyone. And he wanted to, and that led into the second Avengers, where he, you know, created Ultron because he was so desperate to protect the world. And yeah, it just,
it's natural storytelling as opposed to oversaturated storytelling, isn't it?
Yeah, like I didn't mind when Thor became jokey in Endgame. I know some people were kind of on the fence. No, in Endgame where he got like fat and he was like all he was jokey anyway in Ragnarok, but that was fair enough because you could be like, oh, he spent time with like Tony and stuff. Yeah. But then Endgame, it was kind of like, okay, fair enough. You know, it's a form of like grief. PTSD and grief and depression, and fair enough. But then, yeah, Love and Thunder was just too much.
Yeah.
It's like you have literally lost everyone that you've ever cared about ever, and you're still
making jokes.
Yeah.
And it's
there's more emotions than that, like
CGI arms and, you know, unnecessary. Like, you have Russell Crowe in the film, and he's just I don't know what you would call him, like a ponce. And you know, but like the point was that it was supposed to highlight the difference between the Norse and the Greeks gods. And it's like, well, why was that the route you go down? Have Zeus be this horrible megalomaniac whatever, and then who gets bested by Thor because he shoots him in the light of all that he's not expecting. Then introduce Hercules. It's like, well, I don't care about any of that. I didn't care about any of it. The screaming goats, the splits, the riding on Stormbreaker, none of it was... I preferred Thor from 1 and 2.
Do you remember when people didn't like the second one?
Yeah. I preferred that Thor. God, how they've fallen. Anyway, let us know what you think down in the comments. What do you think will happen? What do you think is the problem with Marvel? Like the video, subscribe, ding the bell notified when we upload. We upload every day. Anything else you want to say, smelly head?
Rude. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know what else to say about Marvel. I hope this is good. I want Marvel to be good again.
I do.
It's annoying that it's like frustrating that there are things wrong with it.
It's like they've forgotten what made Marvel so good.
But it's like there's still things that are good. It's like Moon Knight was good, I thought, and it's like you can do that and then you can do something so bad. Yeah,
there's still like odd bits and pieces in the films that were like, you know, like Doctor Strange wasn't all that great, you know, but the bit where he sort of swishes into his cape was really cool. That bit was really cool. I liked the bit with when they were talking about how their version of Doctor Strange got corrupted by the Darkhold. Is that what it was called? Darkhold?
Darkhold, yeah.
Grimhold?
Darkhold.
Yeah. It was like, I like that. Do you know what it is? I like the idea of there being so many Doctor Stranges all with their own names. But good grief, do I want to see live action Supreme Strange. But then again, you look at that film and it's like the horrific CGI eye on his head. God, that looked horrific.
It's a thing, it's like the quality feels like it's gone downhill as well.
While the budget's gone up.
It's like, I think it's just because they're just trying to pay for all these actors. Every single actor is like, they're just bringing so many people into it. It's like you just can't afford to bring all these people in.
Yeah, they're trying to bring all these actors, and also they're trying to blast out 5 films a year, and it's like, it's not working. Go back to quality. But yeah, did I ask you if there was anything?
That was it.
Yeah. Thank you for watching.
I need to know.